So today's going to be a short and sweet video. I've got some things, my boy's coming over for dinner and then off to the football game. So just wanted to touch base, and a few of you have asked me about whether or not I feel like some of what's been going on and some of the things that have been going on in your life are directly related to how the masculine and feminine relate to each other, and whether or not that could be part of the challenge. And I would say absolutely. I'm always worried about when we compartmentalize things a bit too much and we want to make everything about personality types, everything about love languages, everything about masculine, feminine contrast. They're all important. The alchemy is really important, and it's important that we have self-awareness and understanding around it. And so one of the things that I know has showed up for me is that as the feminine, I have historically taken a lot of responsibility for the well-being of my relationships. I worry the most about the quality of my relationships. I'm the one that wants to lean in and have had the experience of a partner that wants to lean out. And so one of the things that you need to be mindful too is that there's 3 tactics that we typically use in relationships, and often it's the feminine. It can be the masculine, but more so the feminine, is we try to sometimes be the convincer. I've definitely been that, and the convincer is the person that's trying to use reality, logic, highlight this, how about this, how about this, is that true, is that not true? And so what happens then is that, and certainly this has happened the last couple of times I've had a conversation with Chris, is then he pushes back against, it's kind of like nobody wants to be sold to. And so even though what you're saying might have value and is important, nobody wants to have that experience. Then there's people that become like their strategy or tactic is being like the trader. So, how about this and what about that? And you do this and then I'll do that. And also not the best way to get to a place where the masculine, feminine can co-create in power and in grace. And then oftentimes there's the person that sacrifices. And that person is, well, I'll just give up on what's important. I'll just give up on what I need because I'm too afraid that if I continue to push for what I want, is that I'm going to push the other person away. And so just be aware that none of those in the long run work. They might work temporarily, and we pay a price. So I have certainly been a version of all of those. I've seen a version of those coming my way. So the best and most powerful thing we can do in the masculine feminine energy is understand that we sometimes want and need different things, and it's our job to understand what the opposite sex is looking for. So men need to learn how to understand the feminine and find a way to jump in the deep end and deal with stuff as it shows up. If they need time to process, they need to be willing to ask for it and then be willing to come back to the conversation. Women need to learn to be more patient. So one of the exercises that I did recently, just in an effort to support myself, is what do I have to bring to the masculine and what does the masculine have to bring to me? And so I made a couple of lists, put some things in real perspective for me in terms of how I choose to be going forward, also part of pulling lessons and learning lessons from this relationship. And so I encourage you to do the same. Feel free to post what you have, and if men and women are posting, then you'll start to learn from each other. Hope that helps. Talk to you soon.